Anthony Davis remains a Pelican. His teammates, not to mention the Lakers, remain in limbo. And the Hoops universe is on pins and needles, waiting to see if AD is moved before today's trade deadline. Hi, everybody. Welcome as we launch a 4 hours worth of trade deadline special here on NBA TV. The deadline is at 3 Eastern time. We're here from 1 to 5. I'm Matt Weiner, 3D. Dennis Scott, yet to be traded today. I think you're safe. Sekou Smith from NBA.com. Also, so far, not part of any transactions.
Not in any rumors either. I'm good.
I heard some rumors. So we'll talk about those. I don't deal in rumors. I deal in facts, but I heard a couple things. Our front office staff is across the way from the Nerd Cave. It's former Cavaliers GM David Griffin, former Blazers Vice President of Basketball Operations Tom Penn. Fellas?
Nerds only, baby.
Yes, baby. There's a whole lot more intellectual horsepower in the typical NBA nerd cave, but we're going to do the very best we can. And Sekou on the main set, we're here to represent.
Love it, baby.
Lots of others will join in along the way. Guys, it's hard to predict what kind of activity we're going to see, considering how much has happened already this week. By my count, since the Kristaps Porzingis trade, we're up to at least 14 different transactions, including one that just happened. Adrian Wojnarowski broke the news that Nikola Mirotic is on his way to the Milwaukee Bucks from the New Orleans Pelicans. Going the other way, it'll be Jason Smith and Stanley Johnson, who, remember, was just traded from Detroit, so his third team in a matter of about 3 days now. Mirotic, as the arms race continues now in the Eastern Conference. Yeah. You got Tobias Harris going to Philadelphia. Who knows what Toronto may have up their sleeves, but the Bucks taking a major step here and taking a swing with Mirotic.
Yes, Matt, you hit around and hit a major step, and Sekou and I were just talking about it. They are going to win now. They're putting the pieces around Giannis. Bud Ball has shown us now in this season that Giannis is not afraid to be on the block down low. And now a guy like Mirotic, Sekou, can go out there and do what he does best, is shoot the basketball. We know he's not a great defender, but all the length they have now in Milwaukee, they will hide him and put him in good situations where he can be successful.
Even moving Thon Maker out of that locker room, you still have what I think is the longest and perhaps the most athletic roster of bigs in the entire league. These are guys who could stretch across an entire, arena if they hold, touch fingertip to fingertip. The important part of it, though, is that Milwaukee has learned a lesson from some of these other teams the past few years, thinking that you have an opportunity to compete in the East. But LeBron was always there waiting for you at the end of that tunnel.
Right.
No longer. So now you go for it. You dive in and go after it. And this is aggressive, quality work to me from the Milwaukee Bucks.
That was always the but in that sentence. Well, we could get so-and-so, but LeBron's still here in the East. By the way, Mark Stein from the New York Times reports that there are 4 second-round picks headed to New Orleans in the Mirotic deal that brings him to Milwaukee. Over to the Nerd Cave again. I'm not going to overdo that, but initial reaction here on Mirotic to Milwaukee.
Well, I'm really taken by this. Obviously, it's somebody we like to call 3 Cola when we're doing game time at night. This is a really big get for Milwaukee. Not having to give up a first-round pick is significant. But I think the way this is being reported, Tom, does this have to be a 3-way trade? Can those guys be aggregated? How's that work?
No, it does need to be a 3-way, so the details will come to us. But what's important here is getting Mirotic's shooting and adding to what Milwaukee already does. They're second in the league in three-point makes already. They average 13.3 a game. He shoots 37% from 3. So it's more doubling down on what you do well. And that's how you get better and go for it. So to Matt's point, it's wide open now in the East. Toronto, what are you going to do? Because everybody else is making moves around. And what's Boston sitting there thinking? Because this makes Milwaukee stronger with a veteran.
Well, and the buttification of the Milwaukee Bucks offense obviously involved Brook Lopez spacing the floor and pulling 5s away from the basket to give Giannis more room to work. You've got to pick your poison now, and these are big shooters. So even when good defense rotates to a 6'9" shooter, if that good defense is 6'4", they don't see him there. And this is a big add for Milwaukee and John Horst, a huge addition for them.
Hey,
I got to be honest, I didn't hear anything you said after the word buttification.
That's a pretty good word. Tom, for folks at home who may not be capologists, explain why this needs to be a 3-team deal.
Well, it's because of the aggregation factor, right? So
yeah. So basically what happened, it was rumored that Thon Maker and Stanley Johnson are being traded 1-for-1. If that's true, when you acquire Stanley Johnson, you can't then turn around and aggregate Stanley with Jason Smith.
Right.
So this has to be a 3-team trade so Milwaukee can get the financial bandwidth of the Stanley Johnson contract to make it all come together.
Yeah, so Matt, what happens is these stories leak, but then they all get mashed together so we know the headlines. What you end up doing is putting two trades together at the same time. And then you start building the flexibility, the different slots you can put players in, the different way that players change rosters. Is always efficiency when you do multiple trades on the same trade call rather than separately the way we hear about them as they leak.
Stories have leaked in the NBA. That's a little bit. I don't know what you speak of. Don't tell Kevin Durant about that. More on that a little later on. It's already been reported, by the way, that Detroit is the other team in that trade, and we'll get all the details throughout the afternoon. Well, the big fish out there remains a Pelican, of course. Anthony Davis, still a member of the franchise, still on that roster, could be there the rest of the day, but he could also join a long list of big men who have been moved with great results. A history of Hall of Fame big men, in fact, who have brought championships to the teams that traded for them. Wilt Chamberlain was moved twice in the 60s, each time delivering a title to the teams that acquired him, the Sixers in 67, the Lakers in 72. Kareem Abdul-Jabbar was already a 3-time MVP and an NBA champ with the Bucks when he maneuvered his way to the Lakers in 1975. Of course, he added 5 more rings and 3 more MVPs. In the 82-83 season, Moses Malone was the missing piece for the Sixers, who had been to the finals and lost 3 times in 6 years. He won the regular season and finals MVPs as the Sixers broke through. Shaq was the odd man out in his feud with Kobe Bryant as the Lakers shipped their all-star center to Miami. Paired with Dwayne Wade, he got a leg up on the rivalry by winning a ring before Kobe in 2006. And now, AD is poised to move on from the Pels.